Yo, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet VGC video. I'm your host, Jose Rocks. Today we have another episode of Journey Through VGC. The current format we in is Regulation D. Y'all ready? Let's get into it. Here we are. So we have our new Valiant team, and this is pretty much based around Valiant Chien Pao Dragonite with, powerful physical type attackers, and then you have two special attackers in Flutter Mane, Heatran, and then you have the support Pokemon in Amoongus to help you with Trick Room. So the star of this team is going to be Valiant. In the videos I'm going to be showcasing, Valiant is really good into a lot of things that aren't really expecting to take, like Grass Terror, Leaf Blade next to Chien Pao, and the Spirit Break and close combat coverage. The fighting and fairy coverage is just really good into the format, right? It's really good into Dragonite before and after it tears into normal. It's good into the Chien Pao both stabs. It's good in the Flutter Mane because Flutter Mane's physical defense is not that good. It's good in the Urshifu water. You can tear in the grass and it can't KO you. It's never going to click close combat into you because you resist that naturally. And then the Grass Terror helps you resist these Surging Strikes. And then if it doesn't tear, you can just KO with a Spirit Break. If you expect it to tear, then you can just KO it with a Leaf Blade, right? And that's just really valuable in the format. The booster energy allows you to outspeed everything that's not using its own booster energy, as far as like Flutter Mane and Iron Bundle. And doesn't have like a speed boosting item or ability or a move like Tailwind. So that's the idea behind Iron Valiant. It's really fast. We have Amoongus, which is a Water Tera Amoongus, a Rocky Helmet. It's pretty standard. One thing about this that sticks out to me is the Grass Knot. Grass Knot is really good into anything that's heavy, that's weak to grass type moves. Like when Rillaboom tears in the water, it's good into that. It's good into Ursaluna before it tears away from its ground typing. And it's just good to like a lot of things in the format. It can chip Gastrodon a little bit. It doesn't do that well in the Gastrodon, being Gastrodon is so light, but it still gives you like grass coverage into that. It hits Urshifu. It hits a lot of the common Pokemon that want to tear into water, right? It's just really good into those. It did a lot of damage to a Water Terror Cresselia. So just might be a couple that I'm missing, but it is really good into a lot of those Pokemon, right? And I felt like this was a good Amoongus set to go alongside the Iron Valiant and Chien Pao combo that I'm using. So next up on the list is going to be Assault Vest Heatran. Assault Vest is really good on Heatran and helping you soak up moves. Also the Terron type on this Heatran is going to be Water. Water is just good for me. I felt like it was something different because I already have a Grass Terror on Iron Valiant, and I kind of wanted a little bit more defensive synergy with the team. So I don't have a water type on my team to like have that water, fire, water, grass balance. So in return, I made Amoongus and Heatran both be water types, right? Be able to tear into water types. So that kind of gives me, having two Pokemon that can tear into water gives me that water type that I'm missing, as far as like defensive synergy with the team, right? And we do have like the Fairy Dragon Steel Core with Heatran, Flutter Mane, and Dragonite. So we're kind of touching bases on both of those. It has Earth Power, Terra Blast for Terra Blast Water. It's really good at some of the fire types that's running around. It's good into other Heatran. Also, of course, you might want to just click Earth Power, but just to have a water coverage option in cases like a Sugarberry Heatran is just really good. And then we have Heavy Slam over Flash Cannon. Because Flutter Mane can do decently well into my team, I wanted to have a way to remove it immediately or to pressure it. And a lot of Flutter Manes don't really feel pressure by being one hit KO by a Heatran, even with Flash Cannon, because Flutter Mane is so naturally bulky on the special defensive side. So the Heavy Slam does really good into removing that from the field and clearing the way for your other Pokemon to succeed on this team. The next Pokemon we have is going to be Flutter Mane. It's a Choice Specs Flutter Mane. It has enough bulk to survive Adamant, Icicle Crash, or Ice Spinner from Chien Pao. I wanted to be able to survive that, so I invested the rest in like special attack and speed. There's a Pokebase down below if you want to see the correct calcs and things for that. But we have Thunderbolt there to hit some of the the common water types that are in the format, and some of the bulky Ramons. And just after that, it's just pretty much a standard Choice Specs Flutter Mane. We already know what it does. It's been good since Series 2, and it was good in Regulation C. So here it is again. Choice Specs still a really good item on it. I think Booster Energy is a better item for Flutter Mane, but Booster Energy is going to be on the Iron Valiant. And because we're building a team around Iron Valiant, I want to have that. And the Focus Sash also is on Chien Pao. So I think that, you know, Choice Specs is the next best item in my opinion for Flutter Mane. Chien Pao is pretty standard as well. Some noticeable differences is that Icicle Crash over Ice Spinner, so that we can be immune to the Rocky Helmet chip when we go for Icicle Crash, which is, you know, Rocky Helmet is kind of outside of maybe Focus Sash and Assault Vest. It's kind of the most common item used right now, right? On every team, you're gonna see something with Rocky Helmet to deal with all these physical threats. So that's the idea behind Icicle Crash. You won't take that chip damage, and while you can't get rid of terrain, this team does not solely rely on priority like some of the other Chien Pao Dragonite teams do. So Psychic Terrain being up is not as bad for you with this team. And then we also have Crunch. Crunch is, I think, is a better option than having the Sucker Punch because people are playing around Sucker Punch so well these days. Good players are not just going to let you Sucker Punch them unless you pin them with Sucker Punch. They're going to switch out. They're going to Terra to something that's, you know, that it can't KO, or they're just going to protect in front of it, right? And that's Ice Shard just helps you with that matchup with as far as them switching and going for like double protect just so you can't Sucker Punch them. And it's also really good into like a lot of the flying types that are going around the format right now to just pick them up when they're like 40-50% health left. If they're not bulky, you're still KOing them, right? And, you know, I was able to one-hit KO a Dragonite with Ice Shard as well as a Landers, right? So that's just really good, and just a niche that it has that you can't really do with the other Chien Paos as far as priority goes. And then we have Ghost Terror on that, which is pretty standard to get around the fake out and around like fighting type attacks into Chien Pao. All right, last but not least, we have another, you know, key component of this team is going to be the Dragonite. Now, this Dragonite is a pretty standard set as far as the Outrage, Stumping Tantrum, and E-Speed with Normal Tera. But on this set, we have Giga Impact. Giga Impact is so powerful, right? Now, if you thought that, you know, the Choice Band Outrages were doing a lot of damage to your opponent, and they're not having good switch-ins outside of a Fairy type, like even Steel types take a lot of damage from it, Giga Impact just takes that to the next level, right? So Giga Impact, while Outrage would do more if you're not Terra, if you Terra into Normal type and that becomes your stab, now Giga Impact is doing more than Choice Band Outrage, right? And you're just one-shotting so many things. Like, nothing is really taking that unless it's a Ghost type and maybe like a super bulky Steel type. Maybe a Heatran can, you know, survive it. But anything that takes Giga Impact neutrally is just getting one-shot by it next to Chien Pao. It just does so much damage. And it's a really good tech to help you get around things that are setting up Psychic Terrain, or things like Farigiraf going for Dazzling and stuff like that. So it's a really good counter into those. So this team is really strong. It's fun to use, and I recommend giving it a try. The rental code is at the top right, and then there is a Poke Paste down in the description below for those Showdown Warriors. And let's go ahead and get into some of these battles and see how many wins we can get with Iron Valiant. Alrighty, so we are ready to use this team. Ooh, so for our first match, we have a Rotom there. So he has two Levitate users with Rotom and Cresselia. There's the Urshifu, not sure if it's a dark or water, but I would think it's dark on this type of team. Amoongus, Ursaluna, and Heatran. So if it's water Urshifu, like my Iron Valiant is really good here. Hits like everything on his team besides the Amoongus and Cresselia. That being the case, I want to bring it in the back. That Amoongus, just in case he gets trick on him up. My Heatran loses too easily to his Ursaluna, and my Flutter Mane is Specs, so it can't protect, so I don't really want to bring them into a Trick Room core. Alright, what does my opponent lead with? So 2 prime candidates for... I'm not really worried about Rotom here. Does it get Ally Switch? Maybe, but... I actually just want to remove Urshifu if I can. And that covers for if it's Scarf. The only thing this play doesn't cover for is a Will-O-Wisp on Rotom. It doesn't protect, nice. Alright, so that's why we go for this double up because he's Scarf. So Urshifu's gone from the game, doesn't get to play this time. Trick. What are you giving us? Choice Scarf. I'll take it. Because I haven't locked into a move yet. Because I went first. Alright, so my Chien Pao can get one shot here. I think I am more afraid of Heatran than Dragon here. So I'll double into it. Alright, does about 40. So this may do about 42. Okay. So Heatran's in range of everything. The paralyze is not good. Paralysis is not good. These leftovers, right? I think I doubled the Rotom slot. Heatran may protect here. The effect is so obvious, though. Yep. And we double up the Rotom because we can't one-shot it. Alright, we do get E-Speed off. But we can't one-shot it because it took my Focus Sash. Ooh. And there's the Iron Valiant. And he gets his KO. So this game is going well. I am a little disappointed that I had 3 games that showcase how good Grass Terra Iron Valiant was. And I believe they got deleted. If I'm not able to recover them and you don't see them before these games, then this is going to be the first game. But I did have a couple matches that I caught on camera, but for some reason the file got corrupt. I think I need Giga Impact here, so I'm going to go out into Amoongus. Let's combat you. He still hasn't Tera Jet. This game's not over yet because I got Amoongus. They went for the double. He didn't even Tera. Could he be Ghost Terror? I'm gonna protect here. He's not tearing. What? Did I miss something? Wow, that did so much damage. That is the power of Grass Knot Amoongus. It is very strong. I'll go for another Grass Knot and I'll just Leaf Blade. Does he not have a defensive Tera there? Or is he just Tera normal? Oh, strange to me that he didn't go for Tera on anything. I do think if he got the double protect on Heatran, I'd be in a not as good of a spot. Not sure why that disconnected, but we're gonna be right back. But like I say, I did have a couple matches that 3 matches before this match that I played, and I wasn't able to keep those matches because while I was recording, the file got corrupted and canceled my recording, and I wasn't able to post it. So I am gonna try to get some more good content around Valiant, but it's just unfortunate that those games that I played, you know, weren't able to get saved. Our next match, we have Floyd. He has Thunderous. I believe I saw Joe use this team. Yeah, I believe I saw Joe. Joe UX. So this is a Thunderous, Flutter Mane, Heatran, Rillaboom, Urshifu, and Chien Pao. So the Thunderous with the paralysis can be kind of annoying. But I don't think he has good answers in the Dragonite Chien Pao besides Heatran. And Heatran doesn't fully check us. His Flutter Mane, Heatran, and Rillaboom do make it a little bit more difficult for Amoongus. So in that case, I like this going hyper offense. And just trying to overwhelm him. Have not brought Heatran yet. Oh, well, I did bring it in one of the games that I didn't get saved, but so I guess I could consider those practice games. Alright, Urshifu, Chien Pao. Water Urshifu. Nice. Okay. Alright, that could switch out in the Flutter Mane. I do think I want to cover for that. And crunch. He's not switching it. A double protect on his end actually be solid right here just to stop me. And it doesn't. I wonder if he's... No, it's not Scarf. So we get the double up. We do remove his Urshifu, which is good. Is this Sacred Sword? That doesn't kill him. It is Flutter Mane here. I do want to try to pick up the KO on this Flutter Mane. He could pick up a double KO here on me. He could go for Ghost Terror and the Chien Pao, but if he doesn't, then I think we're in a good spot. Does he Terra? We could also get a flinch. He does Terra. So I'm guessing it's going to be Ghost Terror here. Yeah. That's fine. We could get a flinch here. Alright, so he's max speed, so it's a speed tie between our two Chien Paos. Alright, we could get a flinch here, potentially. Nice, we do get the flinch. That's beautiful. So I have bulk on my Flutter Mane, right? So he can't really KO me with a sucker punch. Actually, I like Iron Valiant better. KO the Flutter Mane. And bring Chien Pao down to Sash. His only switch in would be Heatran, right? And crunch Chien Pao. There's a switch. I wanted to read that so bad, but I can't risk. Oh, it's just Rillaboom, so it's not that bad. That's good damage. Special attack drop doesn't matter there. Crunch down the Sash. Okay. Now we can always click Ice Shard into us, and we speed tie, so that means he gets rid of his own terrain. But we 4 times resist Sucker Punch, so we just double protect here. And then we can just go for Ice Shard close combat. And if we win the speed tie, then we instantly just win. But even if we lose the speed tie, Ice Shard will still go off because it's not like Sucker Punch. It's not gonna fail if he moves before me. And we still have our Sash on Chien Pao, which is beautiful. And we still have our Specs Flutter Mane in the back. I wonder if he's gonna go for the speed tie Sucker Punch. Because he doesn't know that I have Ice Shard. And we get it off first, nice. Alright, close combat should pick up. So Iron Valiant picking up another KO. If Spirit Break did that much, close combat is just like 50 base power higher. Or 45 base power higher. Yep. And he got rid of his own terrain, so he wasn't passively healing back. And now it's just the Flutter Mane, which is already on literally like 7 HP. And then we can just Leaf Blade here, protect. Alright, battles canceled. This Iron Valiant team is so good. That's 5 wins in a row, 3 off stream and 2 on stream so far. Let's keep it going. I really do like this team, and I encourage anyone that wants to try it to play with it. I did go ahead and rush this team and get it in game, so I kind of like jumped into the battles because I had a subscriber that asked me to make an Iron Valiant team based on my my 5 interesting Pokemon not seeing play video. So this video is for you, sir. So there's a rental code up at the top right, as well as a Pokepaste down below. If you want to try this team, go ahead and give it a try. It is really good. It's fun. A lot of it, teams don't really bring proper like speed control against it because you have the Dragonite Chien Pao mode. And if they don't bring speed control, then you can really outspeed a lot of things with the Booster Energy Iron Valiant, right? And a lot of the times I can just remove Tornadus immediately because they don't want to waste their Terra on Tornadus, and most of them don't carry Protect. And my Dragonite is max attack, so you can just choice band extreme speed Normal Tera and get rid of it. Sometimes if it's a bulkier Tornadus, then just go for Ice Shard and double into it to get rid of it. But let's get to the next one. All right, we have Muck, Scovillain, it's the Cresselia, Slowbro, Sylveon, and Mousehole. So this is definitely a hard Trick Room team, but I don't know why the Skull Villain is there. I don't know why that's there. Maybe this is like minimize strats. This is some weird strategy, right? So I want to leave Chien Pao Dragonite because I know it's some type of weird something. And I want to bring Heatran because it does well into the Sylveon. I know this is some type of weird strategy. I just don't know what. Oh, and my opponent disconnects. Oh, man. Well, we don't get to see that team, but, you know, it is what it is. Let's get into the next one. All right, so we have Christina. She has another Trick Room team. Is that a Teddy Ursa? Wait. Let me rub my eyes real quick. That's a Teddy Ursa with Amoongus, Ursaluna, Cresselia, Iron Hands, Torkoal. Wow. Teddy Ursa. What does that do? I'm not sure anyways. I'm going Dragonite Chien Pao. I like to go Dragonite Chien Pao against like kind of weird stuff because it's so offensive that it kind of like stops you from, you know, being able to play around it. And then I'll go Amoongus. I think Heatran is good here. All right, Iron Hands, Cresselia. So go big or go home. Let's go Giga Impact. Now I could go for E-Speed or Giga Impact plus Crunch, but I think Giga Impact is enough to one-hit KO, and I kind of want to showcase the power of it. Normal Tera Giga Impact is very strong. He didn't Terra, so I could have went Ghost Terra Crunch. He didn't even fake out either. And that's just a one-hit KO on one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the game. Alright, so what is Iron Hands going for here? It's a heavy slow, okay. So we do reveal our Terra and we cannot move next turn. So that's the downside to Giga Impact, but it is enough to pick up one-hit KOs on things when you need them to immediately go down. All right, so we have Heatran, which is good into Amoongus. I actually think I want to switch in my own Amoongus here. And try to put his Iron Hands to sleep. Right, that does a little bit less than 50. Rocky Helmet Chip. Right, and Spores. So Dragonite's not moving right now. I think a Drain Punch is likely into that slot. So let's spore the Iron Hands. Alright, there's Amoongus. I did let off the gas here a little bit by switching out Chien Pao. So he does have bulky mons on the field. I need to try to remove Ursaluna though. It's a bulk of the damage. And Grass Knot. He shouldn't Earthquake here. Alright, there's the Iron Hand switching out. He didn't take a turn of sleep either, which is good for us. Let me go switch side. Okay. He still has his Tera too. I do think Heatran's correct here. I think I let off the gas too much. Like, Dragonite being asleep so long is not good for it. I need to be E-speeding here to outspeed the Amoongus. I think Amoongus always tears here though. Yep, there's a Tera. He's Water Tera, okay. I think this is just an Earthquake, right? Yep, okay. He's playing so well, man. He really brought this back from losing Cresselia on turn 1. It's really the Amoongus. I don't think I should have switched out because he didn't tear it. I could have just went for Icicle Crash. The only way I win this is if I one-hit KO Amoongus and then Giga Impact KOs. I can just go for Outrage. That's not enough. And we did wake up. Yeah, Earthquake should just double KO both of us. Well played by my opponent. So we do lose a match. But we did get to showcase the Giga Impact play. I let up off the gas, and that's just something that, you know, I gotta work on. I mean, he should protect Ursaluna here. Yeah. But I don't think I have enough damage. I would have had to crit the Iron Hands as well. Now I do have a win con. If Iron Hands stay asleep again and that's not enough to KO though. Alright, well played by my opponent. I still had another crit chance out with the Icicle Crash plus flinches. Well, we lost to the Teddy Ursa. It didn't come out though, but it was enough. Its presence alone was enough to carry him over the top. Right. Water Tera Ursaluna is interesting too. It's actually pretty good in my opinion. Well, let's get into the next one. Alright, so we have Heatran, we have the regular hard balanced team. Dragonite, Chien Pao, Tornadus, Rillaboom, Urshifu, Heatran. Alright, so I like my Dragonite, Chien Pao, and I like my Iron Valiant. We lost the game, we didn't bring Iron Valiant, right? And we should have brought Iron Valiant instead of Heatran. I think would have been in a better spot. And for the last slot, I think my Heatran is good. We've removed his Urshifu, right? I could have brought Amoongus too for the Rocky Helmet. And I could have bought Choice Specs Flutter Mane as well. All of them are good choices. Alright, so he leaves Heatran and Rillaboom. Heat Boom. Rillaboom can easily go for Fake Out. I could just one-hit KO Heatran, but does it let me do that? It's not gonna tear grass in front of Chien Pao. Let's see if we can pick up a double KO on both. This will get us started out like pretty strong. He does Terra though, so I need to switch out my Dragonite. Oh, he's Rillaboom though. Okay. So he read potentially me Ghost Tail, which is fine. He faked out the wrong slot though. But now I can Stomping Tantrum into that slot. That's a Life Orb Heatran. I mean, well, if Flutter Mane comes out here, I'm not getting a Stomping Tantrum off. But I can switch into my Heatran. It's his own Dragonite, okay? do not think E-Speed picks up. So I got a decent play that I can go for. Why did you bring it out just to switch it back out? What do you have, Urshifu? Oh, Chien Pao. Alright, so we break your sash. And we are faster than a little bit. And that's a one-hit KO. Beautiful. Now my opponent can't E-Speed and Sucker Punch. So I'm gonna switch out into Heatran. And protect. Then I'm gonna Ice Shard next turn. I know he's gonna Sucker Punch me and I want it to fail. I want to Ice Shard and Heat Wave. Oh, he has Ice Shard too. Okay, nice tech. It's just Outrage. He targets that slot. I'm not backing off my Ice Shard though, because I've seen people carry Sucker Punch and Ice Shard. And I think it might be a chance that he could have it. Oh, and that's just a one-hit KO because he doesn't have multi-scale. Perfect. He's inner focus. Yeah, he does have Sucker Punch. See, that's why I didn't go for the Icicle Crash. That's hilarious. Like, see, my set is Crunch with Ice Shard and Icicle Crash, and I've seen people run Ice Spinner, Sucker Punch, and Ice Shard, right? So they can get around people playing around the Sucker Punch, and that's specifically why I didn't go for Icicle Crash. There also the chance to miss, and like I said, he's not multi-scale. He's inner focus. So the Ice Shard was able to do a lot of damage there. And we made his Sucker Punch fail. So we played that pretty well. We didn't lose a single Pokemon. So that was a good match. That was a good follow-up to the previous match that we lost. And I think, you know, when I bring Iron Valiant, we win. So the key to this team as an Iron Valiant team is bring Iron Valiant and you will win. Even though it didn't come out. Alright, final match of the day. Ooh, Spectrier. We've been running into some interesting teams today. Spectrier and Azumarill aren't that common right now, but Spectrier is really good. Cresselia, Amoongus is annoying for my team. Landorus and Tornadus. So I want to try to go to Giga Impact and remove Cresselia again. I think Iron Valiant is good here. Actually, my Amoongus is really good here. Yeah, I think I'll bring Iron Valiant and Amoongus in the back. I learned my lesson. You want to win, you bring your Iron Valiant. I just wish I could have got those 3 games that my practice matches that I was recording, uploaded, if they hadn't got deleted. I really wish I had them, because I really showcase how good Grass Terror is. I beat a Dondozo team too. All right, so what we got, Mushy? Why is your Lilligant crying in your picture? Alright, Landorus, Spectrier. Alright, so I expect Water Terror on Landorus and Nasty Plot on Spectrier. So what I'm gonna do is go for E-Speed into Landorus. And I will. Okay, Landers is switching. Did he have another ghost type on his team? Azumarill. Azumarill's not gonna take this well. And he didn't Terra, so Crunch should still pick up the one-hit KO on Spectre. He's probably going for a nasty clap. I wonder if he's that greedy. And if this is support Spectre, then you know Crunch is still gonna do a lot before you get your Will-O-Wisp off. Unless you're Scarf. Alright. That's a lot of damage to him on turn 1. He survives with both of them. Alright, so it is bulky Spectre. Are you Nasty Plot or are you Will-O-Wisp? Yeah, he's Will-O-Wisp. So it's just support Spectre. I mean, Nasty Plot is fine. Everything is so low. I'm not too worried about it. Oh, are you tearing just to burn? Oh, you went Water Terror though. I might still KO you here because you didn't switch in Landers. Why did you Water Terror? So Azumarill does not get to play the game. And we may still KO Spectre here because we're -1, but it's neutral. And we do still KO. I thought Fairy Terror might have been better there. He could have survived and got another Will-O-Wisp off. He does get his second Intimidate off. But I think at this point I want to switch into my my Amoongus. Actually, I want to just remove his Tornadus. You already tear it, so. This probably won't remove Tornadus, but I just want to put it in range of just being KO next turn, so it can't really do much to my Amoongus. Alright. There's Tailwind, which is fine. There's Earthquake. He's Life Orb. Another Ice Shard probably KO Landers if I'm at max attack. And Tornadus is gone now. Alright, and then we just protect Chien Pao. And we just stall out as many Tailwind turns as we can. So that when Iron Valiant comes out, even if Ice Shard doesn't KO, if it's like super bulky Landers, then I can just KO it with Leaf Blade or Spirit Break. Interesting team. You may not even KO with another Earthquake, right? So I'll try to put you to sleep here and just protect. I think that's optimal. Because he's Life Orb, so he's not Yachi Berry. I sure should pretty much KO here, but I just want to play as optimal as possible. Oh, okay. Amoongus is not able to survive that. But he's constantly losing health. So this is still optimal because Iron Valiant comes in, I protect, and then I Ice Shard. And then I just outspeed you and just Spirit Break you if Ice Shard doesn't KO. I expected 2 KO. I did one shot a Dragonite, which is bulkier than Landorus, without any Intimidate drops. So our Protect here, I think it's only one turn of Tailwind left. Yep. And then Ice Shard for the win. Nice, there it is. All right, so we did pretty well with this team. I am gonna make a second video with this team. I love this team. I thank my subscriber for, you know, convincing me to go ahead and build this Iron Valiant team immediately. I did, you know, get it in the game pretty fast, so I didn't have a lot of time to optimize as much as it could be, but I do think that I built a pretty consistent team. And if you like it, there is a rental code at the top right, as well as a Pokepaste down in the description below, so you should give it a try. I highly advise it. It's fun, and if you want to use a Iron Valiant team to get some wins on the ladder, I think this is one of the best teams built around it. So go ahead and give it a try. But that being said, if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like for me. Subscribe, turn on post notifications, as I'm posting Pokemon content every single day. And I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, deuces.